What's up, Internet Land? This is Zachamus Prime, aka Zachamus Prime, bringing you another Transformers review. A buddy of mine loaned me his Power of the Primes deluxes, so yeah, let's get to reviewing them. We've got here the Power of the Primes deluxe class Slag, Slug, Slog, Slag, Slug, Slog. I don't know exactly what we're calling him these days. I didn't get a box, but I think it's Slog. Which is dumb because I like the name Slag, but oh well. Apparently that's a bad word in somebody's culture, and we don't want to offend anybody, not even a single person. So, and he looks good. He's a good Dinobot. I like this. Um, my only real quibble with this figure is it's so iconic to have like on the G1 figure, this opened up here and these folded out, and he had like little like wing-ish things, and it's so iconic to the look of the character, both the toy look and the show look, that I kind of wish that there's something that they could have done to do that. But looking at this critically, structurally, I can see why they made some of the design choices they made. I don't know. But even without that, I still like the way he looks. He's a good looking Slag. Um, they, I like what they did with the way he looks, and like the way the legs fold up and the way the tail folds up. Even it's not like hanging out the side and whatnot. Um, I think that they put good work into this figure, and I think that they did a lot of good stuff with it. So that's where I'm going to stand with it. That is my opinion right there. Even though he doesn't have a red face. Shh. Anyhow, but he does come with some accessories. He's got his gun. I am a little. It's a little frustrating that, he comes with a gun. Swoop comes with a sword. Um, like, it's so iconic for them to have a gun and a sword. It would have been nice if they were able to do that. Shoot, poor Grimlock, by the way. Poor Grimlock doesn't come with a gun or a sword. He doesn't come with any weapons at all. Just these stupid feet things that you put on his arms and be like, hey, look, spiked bucklers. Speaking of which, this is Power of the Primes. Power of the Primes is an attempt to combine the gimmicks of Combiner Wars and the gimmicks of Titan's Return. Let me readjust my camera. It's going all weird on me. Oh, geez. And so they're like, okay, so we're gonna make all the deluxes limbs, combiner limbs, again, just like in Combiner Wars, but we're gonna give them accessory so that they can combine up with a Titan Master, or I guess Prime Master is what they call them in this line. But yeah, so what you do is you take this, he's got this little peg, what for, on his chest, and you just attach that onto there, and it looks dumb. It really looks dumb. But yeah, you attach that onto the chest, and then you can pull off this thing right here. This does have like some like little gun detail on it, so it's not like completely useless. You can put it in his hand and pretend he's got a completely transparent gun, because yeah, guns are transparent, unless, especially if they're water guns, but And then this right here, you got a little slot in there, a little peg on the back of the feet. The Prime Masters are just the same as the Titan Masters in terms of size, transformation, and articulation. They just, instead of having faces on the back, they've got some sort of colored geometric design. So you imagine that in him, and it'll still look dumb. So yeah, there's that. I don't know. As I'm sure you've noticed, I'm not the biggest fan of the new gimmicks. Not the biggest fan at all. But let's get down to articulation. He does have a tiny bit of articulation inside his head. It is hard to get to because there's like a dino head around his other head. But he can look left, he can look right, or right and left, whichever, if you're talking about your right or his right. His arm will go all the way around. He's got some bicep swivel. He's got detents in his elbows, which will go 90 degrees forward. But look at this. They'll also go like 40 degrees back. So that's like 130 degrees of motion right there, man. Shoot. No rotation in the wrist. He's got a little bit of detent there. It's great. I mean, if they had given him a sword, let me steal Swoop's sword for a little bit. If they had given him a sword, he could have like held it at an angle like so. And he could have just been like, how cool would that have been? You know? But no. Sword or gun, please. No both. He does have a waist articulation right here. His hips are your typical kind of deluxe class ball joints. They will go out half of Van Damme. I'll move all the way forward, all the way back. His knees will go a little less than 90 degrees. He's got a weird knee joint in here because of his design. So in terms of posability, I don't think that this guy is the awesomest. But in terms of looking like his G1 counterpart, like this guy isn't going to have the coolest pose on your shelf. He may not even pose much at all. But in terms of standing there and looking like a Dinobot, like he nails it. He nails it right down. Which is more than I could say for all of the Power of the Primes Wave 1 Deluxes. They don't all nail it. They all look pretty good to some degree or another. But in terms of nailing their looks, actually, I think that Jazz is the weakest one in the wave. And Swoop is definitely the strongest. So this guy is somewhere in between. More on the Swoop side, I think, than on the Jazz side. But whatnot. Let's get him transformed up into his combiner modes. Because just the idea of a Dinobot combiner is something that I've always liked. But the execution is terrible. And all of the sacrifices that they had to make the character get to do that is just criminal. So, we're just going to, there is a peg right here on the side of his body and a tab right here on the outside of his arm that when you flip it around, it's on the inside. Amazing how that works. Tab those in. Now, we are going to extend these feet out. So that we can transform this all around. Tail, feet. Oh, I didn't even get into the heel. Gee, I'm dumb. And we're going to peg these together down here. And then you see these tabs up here. Those are going to tab in. And they really, that's really the heart and soul of locking this all together solidly. The tail, we're going to put it like we're putting it in the tail for the Dano mode, but we're going to fold it back up. The legs have got these little tabs right here that'll just kind of locate into those cuts right there. Those cuts, by the way, are not for the tabs. Those are to make the whole machining of that joint right there work. And you'll slap a foot on right there, and there he is in his foot mode. I think that he makes a decent foot, a decent leg, I guess. I think he makes a better leg mode than some of the other Dinobots that we've seen pictures of. Snarl, I'm looking at you. But yeah, there he is for his leg mode. I mean, basically with all these guys, you just fold them up into a compact brick-shaped thing and slap a leg on it, and ta-da! That's all that there really is to it. To combine him into his arm mode, we are basically just going to keep him in his leg mode, but pull his actual legs out. And we're going to move the tail around to the back, plug it back in together. And then we're going to plug this hand in. Oh, why does it not want to come out? The other ones came out just fine, but no, this one's just being a chore. And there he is in his arm mode, and this part just looks like kind of a disaster. Hey, he's got that port. I'll have to check out that other swoop. I didn't find one on swoop, so if you turn it around this way, it looks actually considerably better. And I think this is probably the way that most sensible people are going to arm mode him. So, I mean, there's that. But yeah, let's get him transformed furthermore into his Dino mode. We had him most of the way there already when he was in leg mode. If I was thinking, which I'm not thinking is not one of my fortes really. But if I was thinking, I would have actually transformed him into arm mode first and leg mode second, and then just gone right straight to Dino mode, which would have been really, really easy from that point. But no, I wasn't thinking at all. Flip that down, plug that in. My buddy who I borrowed this from was very quick to point out that if you don't tab this in, then if you can see here, you've got this panel here, and then this panel is the outside. And they'll actually remain lined up if you don't tab it in. But it's got these tabs here that are supposed to be done, so I'll also show you what that looks like. Indents that a bit. But all in all, it's not bad. You know, he doesn't look like a potato like some third-party figures that shall not be named at this point. But yeah, he looks pretty good. He does have a basic amount of rotation on the legs here. Basic amount of knee rotation there. His front legs have got basically the same rotation that the same possibility they have as arms in the robot mode. You can open the mouth, but I wouldn't open it very far, because the joint is down here, and when you open it wide, it's like, it just looks weird. But there is also like a pretty strong detent in here, and it doesn't want to go anywhere between closed and this far open. Like, it doesn't really want to go anywhere between that. So I don't know. I just keep him closed. His tail does not like to plug in. I don't know if this is indicative of the line as a whole, or if this is just an issue that I've got with my review copy. I'm not sure exactly what the issue is, but that makes it so that none of the rest of this wants to plug together, and it makes for a bit of a frustration in this mode. So be warned on that. You can take his fist and fold it all up like this. You can plug it into the top, so he can have a little spiky fist on the top, and that just looks like a spiky fist. It doesn't even look like anything else. You can also have his gun. I like to plug it into the back of the leg like that. You can plug it in here. You can plug it into the arm. This one looks very silly. This one looks mildly silly. This one looks also silly, but maybe, I don't know. They all look silly. Gun storage on a dinosaur is kind of weird when you stop and think about it. So you remember that it's not a dinosaur, it's a robot dinosaur, and we've already gone beyond the point of absurd. Which is, let's be honest, one of the things that we all liked about the Dinobots. Last but not least, he does also have a little combiner, a little Prime Master, Titan Master pegs on his back. You can stick a guy up there and have him chilling out on a dyno, because nothing's cooler than riding a dyno, a robot dyno. But yeah, there's Slag, Slug, Slog, whichever. I think he's pretty good. I think he's not quite as good as Swoop, but you know, not every figure can be basically perfect. But yeah, thanks everybody for watching. Go ahead and leave a comment, like, subscribe, share it with your buddies. And anything you can do would be appreciated. I do make an effort to respond or make note of everybody, either by actually responding to your comment if you've got a question or a suggestion, or I just hit that little heart button for some things that I'm like, it's a good comment, thank you. I don't know what to say to that, so there's the heart. Anyhow, you guys are awesome. Everybody go home and you're probably already home, but everybody be good to one another and have a great day. See ya.